to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again today. We have another show lined up for y'all today. We have a special guest who's going to talk to us a little bit about business that she is a part of as an entrepreneur. She is a mother of 6 children and stepchildren. She is going to tell us all about this brand of Flip Lok. You can go to the website fliplok.com. We're going to learn everything about this awesome brand. But first and foremost, welcome to the show, John Reger. How you doing today?
Hi, I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me today.
Appreciate your time. So I kind of gave a short little teaser of your bio, but kind of tell us a little bit about the story behind the creation of Flip Lok.
So my mom, bonus mom, like you said, to 6 kids. And one day my youngest daughter came home from school and we had an active situation in our area, active threat situation. I got the alert and I was at the office. And in that moment, I realized that I didn't know what my daughter or any of my kids were supposed to do in that situation. And so when my daughter got home, I asked her, what do you do? And she knew what to do if her teacher was with her, run in the classroom with the teacher, get against the wall. Teacher turns off the light, teacher locks the door. She had no idea what to do if her teacher was not there. And as a mom, if your child calls you, let's say you're in that situation and your daughter or your son says, hey, mom, we're under lockdown. What's the one thing that we can do as a parent in that moment to try to protect our kids? Because that's what we want to do, is protect our children. It's an innate natural trait, right? It's an instinct. And in that moment, the only thing you can do is ask your child, is the door locked? And the last thing I want to hear is, I don't know, mommy. That's an unacceptable answer for me. And my daughter had no way of being able to lock the door in the classroom. And that's when my husband and we went into action. And I told him it needed to be a device that was so simple that a 5-year-old could use it. We needed it to be big and red. We wanted our kids to know what the next action step was. When they do flip it and it locks, it needs to remind them of the next action step. And that's why it says call 911 on it, because it says call 911, which reminds them of the next action step, which is to call for help. And, because in that emergency situation, children aren't thinking, people aren't thinking, all your fine motor skills disappear. But if it's something that you can flip and it's just as simple to unlock, then you don't have to worry about your kids in that situation, stacking desks against the door or hoping and praying a teacher goes into action for your kids' safety.
And this safety device is, like you said, is for schools, and it's also can be used for homes and offices as well. So kind of tell us the design about Flip Lok and how it is very important for people to use this.
So for the school version, we want every classroom to be able to be locked down by anybody in the classroom. And that also includes an unlocking mechanism. So people are like, in case somebody wants to play a joke or somebody needs to get an emergency personnel, we do have a key to unlock the device to get into the classroom. But on the home side, we have this one because we have, like I said, 6 kids, and one of, our kids are in different phases of life. One of them moved into their apartment. It's a girl, and we're worried, if somebody can just walk into her apartment, because as you know, if you live in an apartment, somebody else has your key, whether that's maintenance, management, whatever that looks like. So they can just come in whenever they want, even if they're not supposed to. That doesn't mean that they don't. So we wanted to give them a way to secure their room and then, or their house or their apartment. And then we have another son who's, some of our kids have been in college and they have communal living spaces. And, we wanted to be able to put a lock in their bedroom so that when they were sleeping, they could actually secure their room. And, that way we don't have to worry about if other people come into the room or in the apartment that they don't know, their roommate knows, or maybe they had a fight with their boyfriend or girlfriend. You never know. But this is just an extra layer of security for them to be able to know that their door is secure. And that's why we created Flip Lok with all of our family in mind.
Like you said earlier in the show, you and your husband started this brand. And when it came to launching this, what was your marketing strategy to differentiate the Flip Lok from other safety devices on the market?
Simple to use, simple to install. You flip it, it drops, it locks. It's that simple. And I think that's really important because people need to be able to lock their house or their apartment or their school classroom down in a quick, safely manner. And also, you wanted to make sure it was easy to use, easy to install. I think that's the most important part when you're doing a business. You always want to think about how is the, end user going to benefit from this? Our school version holds over 2,500 pounds of pressure. Our home version holds over 1,669 pounds of pressure. To put that in perspective, most deadbolts only hold 100 to 200 pounds of pressure.
Once again, we're talking to our guest, Anna Reger, and we're going to ask you about your journey of being an entrepreneur. Tell us a little bit about how you started the journey as a woman in business, and what were some of the challenges that you faced?
So originally I was going to go into be a nurse. So I went to school, got a associate's in science, a bachelor's of science, and then I couldn't go into nursing because I couldn't make it work financially for me and my job at the time. So I took business classes, entrepreneurship, minor in business, got marketing classes, and I really, really loved it. And I was, helping some friends on some businesses. They were doing taekwondo and things like that. And I would help run their business and help them because they didn't really have that experience. And I really enjoyed it. And so that was my first dabble in business, because prior to that, I took care of special needs kids from when I was 14 until I was 21, because I left home when I was 14. And so I took care of special needs kids in a foster home. And, that was being able to go into to help kids was really my passion. And so I felt, in this business world, when I started doing business, I met my now husband, later on in life, and he had a business sense already. He was already an entrepreneur, and I learned a lot from him and his business ideas and perspectives. And he had a different way of doing business than I did. And so together we complemented each other, and we started our first business many, many years ago. And we've just been continuing since. But being an entrepreneur as a woman, and the different various businesses that I've had, sometimes there was it was a lot more difficult, a long time ago. It's gotten a little easier in some aspects, but, if you think about it, I'm a woman-owned business with a security device. There's not very many women that have a locking device. And so when you talk to people about these things, you have to know your stuff. The most important thing as an entrepreneur is you have to know your business. You don't want to bring in an expert. You are the expert. You have to be the expert. If you are not the expert, why would anybody trust you? Why would anybody want to do business with you? So the most important thing is any business that any entrepreneur wants to do, they really need to know what it is they're doing and why are you doing it? What's your why?
And speaking of your why, you've been able to brand your business even further, being on platforms such as TED Talk. What was your experience like being on TED Talk, and what was your message to the audience?
Well, TED Talk, I was actually a nervous wreck because I didn't want to do that, and you can't have any notes. So there was no notes, but it was really amazing to get up on the stage and be able to share my mission and ideas with people like-minded people, to say, school safety is very important, and really share that message of, do you know what your kid's supposed to do while they're in class? Do you know what they're supposed to do during an active threat situation? And really just have people think about that. What do you think? You don't want to think about it when you're in that situation, right? Or when you get that alert. You want to know ahead of time so that you know what your kids are doing. And it really was amazing for me to do the TED Talk. And actually Tuesday last week, I just did for the home version. I was on QVC. So it was a whole nother experience for me.
It happened that successful track record owning a business with your husband and being able to market it on very well-respected platforms. What would be your words of encouragement for women in business out there who are ready to take their brand to the next level?
I think it's important for women to connect with other groups, like-minded people, find people that will lift you up, that will support you. Your network is also something that you can utilize. You have friends that support you. You have find communities, find networking groups, even, business groups, and go out there and make connections and meet people that have already done something or people that you can learn from. It's important for you to have a mentor, somebody that will help guide you a little bit rather than just trying to do it all on your own. And, the most important thing when you're starting out is nothing's going to be perfect. And the sooner you realize that, the better off you'll be. If you say, I'm not ready because of this, that, and the other, those are excuses. You take action. And I promise if you make a mistake, you won't make the same mistake twice, but you'll be one step further to your goal and your dream, which is being an entrepreneur. And yes, it's scary. And yes, it can be difficult. But, if you don't try, how can you ever help bring your dreams alive? How can you ever get out of whatever it is that you're trying to get out of? Or how can you ever grow into who you want to be? I always say, get uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, there's no way you can grow. And I get uncomfortable every day. It's uncomfortable to get up on TV. It's uncomfortable to get up, and speak all the time. But you know what? This is something that I'm very passionate about. And if you really, truly believe in your business, then you can get up and talk to anybody, anywhere about what you're doing. And you will find people that will support you.
Once again, talking to our guest today, I Am Reger, and she is also founder of multiple businesses. So for you being a true entrepreneur, being able to manage different brands that you own, how do you process your schedule and stay afloat?
Well, the schedule has gotten a little complicated lately because, I have a lot of things going on, but I have a Google Calendar and I live off of that. I have an assistant that I hire to help manage my schedule. And I think it's just important to really, balance, not just work. I'm also a mom, so I need to spend time with my children. So I think you have to find that balance. Like I have a hard stop on Sundays. I literally take off Sunday. That's my day to rejuvenate, to rest, to spend time with my family. Don't talk any business. My husband and I are in businesses together. So we have to have this rule because otherwise it's business nonstop. It doesn't go away. And so we had to have that break where we can just be a husband and wife and a family and not talk business, Sometimes we have to break it. Sometimes there's meetings or something that will come up. We need to go support somebody. But for the most part, we try to hold firm on, those rules. And I try to take a break myself where, self-care is the most important thing you can do. And I know when you're starting a business, and right now I'm in the middle of growing this business, it's hard to balance, but you have to balance because if you don't, then you'll burn out. And you don't want to do that.
And going back to Flip Lok, how has it been, the journey, being able to introduce this product to not just schools, but also governments and professionals and people who are hardworking Americans at home? It's
been fantastic, just to be able to go out and meet with people and really because I truly believe that Flip Lok can help save lives, right? I believe it can buy enough time for people to get help there and save people. So that's why it's really... I feel like it's my mission and I don't feel like it's work because I really feel like I'm just helping people with the problem that we all face. We're scared, whether we're at home, whether we're at school or in a business or whatever that looks like, and giving them a tool to be able to go into action to protect themselves. And for me, that's a very intrinsic value.
And for school districts, what's the process for them to make an inquiry to talk to you and your people and learning more how they can use Flip Lok in their school system?
They can contact us on our website, or they can contact me directly on my email, anna@fliplok.com. It's really simple. On our website, you can go to the school section and there's a way to contact us. We have people in the office. We're in Houston. They can call us directly. All of our information is on our website, and we're always happy to help anybody with any questions. They want to get a Zoom. If they're a school, we can set up Zoom calls is what I do with them. Or I can go out to their school and do lunch and learn or whatever that looks like for their group.
And with the locks, you have inward and outward variation. Yeah. So kind of explain that to the audience. How does that work?
So the inward, and they're different for the home and the school. The school is big and red because it's an emergency use device, right? But the home ones are more aesthetically pleasing. They're silver, black, and bronze. But the outward door, if you think about the doors where you have the push bar, where you have to push to go out, or you have to push the door to go out, that's an outward swinging door. But if the door opens towards you and you have to pull the door towards you to go out, then that's an inward swinging door. And that's the difference between an inward and an outward door. And
you also have social media presence as well, where people can watch videos. Are there any presentations, someone who's like an average user who just wanted to learn a little bit more about the details of the lock?
Yes, we have a lot of information. If people want to contact us directly, we have a lot of videos and things like that on our YouTube page and also on our website. But if they need more information or we have a frequently asked questions on our website everything is for the home lock on our website. School stuff, we try to keep that a little more confidential for safety reasons. So they would contact us if they're a school or a government agency, then we could help them, decide what works for them. And then we can show them the videos that we have that are a little more private.
And for installation, how long on estimate or just average does it take for your team to install these locks?
Oh, it's really quick, depending if it's a school. So if it's a school, I think we got it down to, maybe less than 30 minutes a door.
Nice. That's fast. That's real fast.
And maybe even faster, depending on the door, depending on the situation, there's a lot of factors that go into it, but the most it will take us is 30 minutes a door.
Building this pretty promising brand, what would you say is the vision for short-term goals for Flip Lok?
Short-term goals is to just keep getting in as many schools as we can so that we can help give our kids peace of mind knowing that they can go into action. Also, we've just got contacted from some hospitals that want to try using Flip Lok as their safety device for the safe rooms that they're creating. So I believe that short-term goals are just keep getting out, and making new connections and getting into more and more facilities that we can. That's really what I think. I think we're just going to keep doing what we're doing.
Are there any limitations? I probably should ask this question, but are there any limitations like maybe airplanes? I mean, are there any other ideas of future tools for Flip Lok?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, we have the home version could be used in hotels, airplanes would be one where the pilot could lock the inside the cockpit, that kind of thing. We hadn't really ventured out that far, but there's a lot of applications for Flip Lok in hotels, restaurants, anywhere that there's a door that's a solid door that they could put a Flip Lok in to create a safe room. I think that's really where Flip Lok would be the most promising.
And like I said earlier, you and your team have been on some very well-respected platforms, being able to push this. So that means people are definitely interested in that you have something that is very valuable. How proud are you to be able to see the early success already?
I'm very, very proud, and I'm very, very happy. And, I'm really advocating, about outside of Flip Lok, but in conjunction with Flip Lok for standardization of active threat drills in our schools, because my kids shouldn't go to your kid's school and not know what to do. Our kids shouldn't go to different schools and not know what to do. But if it's a fire, it's a fire. Most people know what to do when a fire alert sounds. But right now, as it stands, there is no unique active threat alert that we have for schools across the board. And we really need to come up with one of those.
And once again, talking to our guest, Anna Reger, you can go to her website. It's super easy. It's fliplok.com. What are some of the things that you are doing in your community to help support other women, CEOs, and entrepreneurs?
Oh, I help women all the time when they come to me with questions or they want me to mentor them. I'm always happy to do that. I've done that for years. I speak sometimes with organizations and other schools talking to students about female entrepreneurship and just, going for your dreams and just really trying to go for things and how can you be successful? What are things that you can do to get one step closer to your goal or your dream? And that could be with school, or that could be with being an entrepreneur, that could be with anything, and my most, thing that I tell women and people in general is whatever that is, every day write down 3 things that you can do the next day that are high priority, that you need to get done so that you could get one step closer to your goal of a business owner or doing good grades in school or whatever that looks like for you. And by the time the end of the week comes, how many things will you have done that you probably wouldn't have done if you didn't prioritize those things the day before? Because there's no way you can finish everything in one day, but you can make it, a list. You can list 10 or 20 things out and prioritize those on each day you want to get that done, and block out your time. Time blocking is super important to be successful. If it's going to take you 15 minutes or less, get it done right away. If it's going to take you a little longer, block your time. That's super, super easy to do. And if people did that, then you would get so much stuff done.
And being born and raised in Houston yourself, you had a lot of siblings. So family has been a theme with you. How important is that to also showcase through your brand that you actually you're part of a huge family? So this is your customers are also family with you.
That's right. Family is everything for me. And that's why it's become my mission with Flip Lok. And it has been my mission as a mom to protect our kids and keep them safe. But I think that with Flip Lok, I really care about our family. And, it doesn't matter whose kids they are, because everybody's kid is important. And as far as I'm concerned, they're all my kids, because I don't want to see somebody else's kid get hurt being at school. It just is, it's insane. So family is the most important. What can we do as parents, as friends of people that care about people, to help save lives and to help give people peace of mind? I think that's always been something with me. And to be in Houston, to have the support of my community is really, really paramount. But, I've had the support in Florida, in Boston, in Illinois, and all these different states where I didn't even know people, but we all have the same thing because we're human and we want to make everybody safe. And I think everybody has the same goal. Do you have people you care about in schools? Do you, or anywhere for that matter? Can't we come to an agreement and say that we need to give our kids, our people, the tools to be able to secure the rooms, the classrooms? In my case right now, what I'm focused on,
Once again, listen to I Am Refocused Radio, talking to our guest today, John Reger, and go to her website. It is fliplok.com. Wrapping this up, we talked about you being able to be on TED Talk and other different platforms. If someone wants to be more educated on how they can use this in their home or in their school, I know we touched on how they connect with y'all, but if they just want to spread the word and pay it forward for your brand, what's the best way you hope our listeners can support your brand?
We have social media. They could write us, if they bought our product, they can write us a review. That really helps us. We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Facebook. That really will help. And even talking to their schools, if they go talk to their schools and what is their policy? If their school policy is stacking desks against the door, that's unacceptable. What more can we do? And that's really important. And I think the thing about Flip Lok is it can be placed at an ADA compliant height where kids in a wheelchair can use it. Kids on crutches can use it. And I think that's super important for them to also feel that sense of empowerment, because, everybody should be able to lock a door.
Once again, people can go visit fliplok.com. Once again, Anna, thank you for your time.
Hey, thank you so much.